Hey, I'm Dave Control with ArcadeCloud, and today we're counting down part 2 of the most hilarious moments in GTA history. So, let's get to it. The outbursts of Ricardo Diaz. Most of us are guilty of occasionally letting our anger get the best of us. And then there's Ricardo Diaz, who is simply a human embodiment of senseless rage and cannot be helped. If you're working for him, it could be extremely frustrating. If you get on his bad side, it can be terrifying. If you're able to experience his rage from the safety of your own reality, his outbursts are sure to make you chortle with glee. One of his most memorable moments of emotional instability has to be when he's attempting to eject one of his favorite tapes on his VCR, but the damn thing just doesn't seem to want to work. So, like everybody else that defies the great Ricardo Diaz, he opens fire on the device with his prized handgun, only for Tommy to walk in moments later to realize that the reason the VCR hadn't worked was simply because Ricardo forgot to plug it in. But it's nothing his endless supply of drug money can't replace. From smashing his TV set over losing a horse race to hunting down pigeons on his front porch with a rifle without a permit, Ricardo's outbursts make for some of the most memorable moments in GTA Vice City and some of the funniest and most out there moments in the entire series. Trevor falls in love. Marianne is one of the more memorable characters the player will meet during their stay in Los Santos. She's a rage-induced health nut with a burning hatred for men that lacks basic social skills, freaking out both Michael and Franklin with her outrageous behavior. Who could ever even remotely appreciate this emotionally unstable hurricane of a person? Why, another emotionally unstable person. That's who! When Trevor eventually comes across Marianne, we see him open up in a way we haven't seen before. The fact that he shows genuine affection for anybody should be something between adorable and creepy, but is instead absolute comic gold. He is absolutely infatuated by the way she verbally tears apart the poor gentleman who has agreed to fertilize her eggs through a surrogate mother, probably not by choice. After Trevor takes this man out with a single wallop to the face, we see an emotion in Marianne we hadn't seen before as Michael or Franklin: fear. Marianne takes off on her bike as Trevor chases her while professing his undying love for her in a way only a sociopath could. She becomes so freaked out by Trevor's advances that once the race is finished, she doesn't stop pedaling, riding away from Trevor as quickly as she possibly can, never to be seen again. Franklin meets Bigfoot. Bigfoot is one of the longest running conspiracy theories within the Grand Theft Auto franchise, so it was only a matter of time before Rockstar gave in and finally acknowledged what was previously thought to be a myth. In Franklin's Strangers and Freaks mission, the last one, he encounters a cross-eyed hunter hell-bent on tracking down and stuffing the head of the legendary Bigfoot. Thanks to some freshly made Bigfoot droppings, the hunter knows he's close and enlists Franklin in helping him accomplish his lifelong dream once and for all. Franklin eventually encounters the mythical beast and fills his hairy ass full of rounds until it falls to the ground. Just as Franklin is about to finish it off, the beast starts talking, saying that it is the last of its kind and begging Franklin to put it out of its misery. Upon closer inspection, Franklin realizes that what he shot was just a man in a Bigfoot costume, a guy that looks an awful lot like Rockstar Games protagonist Jimmy Hopkins of the game Bully, or Bobby Hill from King of the Hill. As it turns out, this guy is essentially a full-blown furry. He dresses up as a fantastical beast as a means of achieving sexual gratification. Don Peyote. What would happen if you merged the movie The Hangover with Grand Theft Auto? You get the San Andreas mission, Don Peyote. CJ gets a call from the Truth. No, not the organization that advocates against drugs, but a deranged old hippie that fully embraces them. The Truth tells CJ is woken up in a Japanese bathhouse in Los Santos with no recollection of how he got there. The real concern is the whereabouts of the British band he was partying with in the desert, which is where CJ finds the band manager and the lead singer. Unfortunately for CJ, and fortunately for us, they're still suffering from the hallucinogenic effects from the fun they had the night before, with the singer believing he's a raspberry, and the manager needing to stop their drive for a quick puke break. With the band's keyboardist and drummer still missing, the trio decides to search at a steak farm where they had been to the night before and slept with a woman belonging to a family of dangerous hillbillies that owned the farm. CJ and his new friends barely make it out of the encounter with their lives. The manager deems the keyboardist and drummer completely expendable, so CJ drives them back to a casino resort in the city where the family of hillbillies have chased them to challenge them to fisticuffs. The mission is so out there that it makes me wonder if the developers that created it were on peyote when they wrote it. Trevor ruins Floyd's life, then ends it. Not only is knowing Trevor Phillips a death wish, knowing somebody that knows him is as well. After discovering that Michael Townley has risen from the dead, Trevor momentarily abandons his desert-based operations and heads out to Los Santos with his business partner, Wade, to seek out the ghost and get some answers. But they need a place to stay. Enter Floyd Herbert, a Los Santos resident that appears to have it all: a loving fiance named Deborah, a nice apartment, and an honest line of work. Unfortunately for Floyd, he's a blood relative of Wade, meaning Trevor can just waltz into his life like a Dr. Seuss character with an insatiable lust for blood and a bad case of psychopathy added for good comedic measure. In addition to fornicating with Deborah's prized teddy bear and being partially to blame for smearing the apartment in literal shit, Trevor teaches Floyd a few important life lessons as well, like how the size of your Johnson doesn't matter, or how his fiancée is most likely cheating on him at her business getaways and that his entire life is actually a miserable lie. Deborah eventually returns from her business gangbang to find her home in ruin and her teddy bear with a suspiciously shaped hole in its eye, which sends her into an understandable fit of rage that Trevor tries to calm with his own form of couples counseling, which, like everything else Trevor does, ends in a literal bloodbath that left us laughing our asses off like the monsters we are. The Drive-Thru. Grand Theft Auto is a series that features a variety of missions, from collecting cars to assassinations to pulling off bank heists. Grand Theft Auto San Andreas momentarily got away from all that tension to bring players into a scenario that they had never experienced yet were clearly begging Rockstar for. A mission centered around ordering food from a drive-thru. The initial setup of this mission is ludicrous enough, but Big Smoke's insatiable appetite makes it even more so. While CJ and the rest of his crew order one meal like people that strive for a longer life expectancy would, Big Smoke lives up to the first half of his name and orders a whopping 7 meals off of Cluckin' Bell's menu, which apparently has over 45 menu items. Soon after the crew has their food, the drive-thru becomes a drive-by, as a rival gang begins to open fire on the vehicle. While CJ drives, Big Smoke is more concerned with finishing his feast than helping the others take out the people that are presently trying to kill them. Doesn't he realize that if he's dead there will be no more food? Shouldn't that be motivation enough? It's actually a wonder that this guy wasn't killed by his cholesterol levels well before gang violence could. Michael joins Epsilon. Feeling that his life lacks meaning and happiness, Michael did what any irrational person looking to improve their life would do. Join a pyramid scheme posing as a religion that leans more on the culture side. After joining the Epsilon program for a $500 entry fee, Michael learns a great many truths previously hidden from him, the greatest one being that his true name from a previous life is Zolag, who was the king of a cloud city until evil forces cast him out. In order to discover more of life's truths, Michael, Zolag, must partake in many trials like collecting vehicles for Epsilon, tracking alien life with the PKE meter from Ghostbusters, wearing the same clothes for 10 days straight, running aimlessly in the desert for 5 miles straight, and giving the program hundreds of thousands of dollars in the name of their cosmic deity Kiflam. The funniest part about all of this is that it completely goes against Michael's character, and it just appears as though he's become a prisoner of the player's choices and miserably going through the insanity against his own will, making for perhaps the weirdest and most hilarious story arc in the entire series. Thanks for watching part 2 of the most hilarious moments in GTA. Is there a personal favorite of yours that we missed? Let us know in the comments below. If you like this video, be sure to slap a like on it. If you want to see more content like this, be sure to smack that subscribe button to be the first to know when new videos will be dropping. Thanks for watching.